Hello there. In today's video, we're going to be considering some of the spiritual gems comments for the week of May 6 to 12, 2024. Friends, we welcome you. Thank you for coming. And now, let's get started. So for this time, the Bible reading for this week is Psalms 36 to 37. And let's begin with the first question, and it comes from Psalm 36:6. So it reads, "Your righteousness is like majestic mountains. Your judgments are like vast, deep waters. Man and beast you preserve, O Jehovah." So what may the psalmist have meant when he referred to Jehovah's righteousness as being like a majestic mountains or like mountains of God, as says the footnote? And this is not literal. This doesn't mean that the mountains we see in our path are Jehovah's righteousness, but this meant that Jehovah's righteousness is immovable, or since mountains are lofty, this may point to the fact that God's righteousness by far transcends that of man. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. And what spiritual gems from this week's Bible reading would you like to share? Let's start with number 1. Psalm 36:1 says, "Transgression speaks to the wicked one deep within his heart. There is no fear of God before his eyes." So the insight that Jehovah provides is a treasure to be cherished. We should be aware, however, that if we don't continue in the course that has enabled us to acquire godly insight, we can lose it. Sadly, some have had exactly that experience because of pride. Number 2. The same scripture reminds us of Jesus' words to take care of our hearts, because from the heart come out all kind of bad things. This is what defiles what comes from the heart. Number 3. Now 36:3 says, "The words of his mouth are hurtful and deceptive. He shows no insight for doing what is good." So there are those who use words of complaint and criticism all the time. Is their characteristic? They even refuse to recognize and thank the good work of others. This can hurt those who are close to them. They even make offers or promises that they don't fulfill. So this motivates us to reflect on how our way of speaking is, how our family, spouse, or others feel when they are with us. Okay, now let's move on to number 4. And number 2, Psalm 36:2 says, "For in his own eyes he flatters himself too much to detect and hate his error." So sin and evil desires can blind us to the point of thinking that if others are doing it, then it's wrong. But if we are doing it, then things change. There is nothing wrong. There's no doubt the heart is a false friend that deceives us and makes us not notice our own mistakes. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, number 5, and 36:6 we already read it. It says, teach us that the Bible teaches in this verse that Jehovah God gives life to humans and also animals. He sustains them. We live in a world in which life is disrespected, including animals. Some people are attending their religious places, their churches, but at the same time they are hurting others, hurting people, including some animals, and for them is normal. There is no doubt such a way of acting is contrary to Bible principles. So if we truly understand this point, if we truly appreciate life and our Maker, will reflect it in the way we treat others, including nature and animals. Number 6, 36:9, Psalm 36:9 says, with you is the source of life. By your light we can see light. Some people believe that life came into existence just by its own. That, in other words, there is no creator. If we are here by accident, then our existence has no meaning or purpose. But, on the other hand, the Bible teaches that there is a creator, and this matter, this fact, changes everything, because he has a purpose for us. So are we there to find out that purpose? Number 7, the same verse teaches the figurative light referred to by Jesus was the message of truth he preached, which could illuminate the minds and hearts of his listeners, including his disciples. After years of spiritual darkness, Jesus' disciples could finally understand God's purpose for mankind and the hope of the kingdom. May we never take for granted this spiritual light. Number 8. Now, Psalm 37, 1 and 2, the verses say, don't be upset because of evil men, or be envious of wrongdoers. They'll quickly wither like grass and shrivel like green new grass. Okay, because wickedness increases and many are prospering because of the evil things they are doing, including some illegal businesses. Some people, some believers, some brothers say, is it really worth it to be honest and do what Bible says? Is it really practical? They began to look with envy and curiosity the prosperity of the wicked ones. But if we read these verses, we'll understand, we trust that Jehovah is seeing everything, is watching, observing everything, and he'll repay each person according to his path, to his actions, in this life and in the coming life. Number 9, 37:4 says, so this verse says, find exquisite delight in Jehovah, and he'll grant you the desires of your heart. Okay, one way to make God our greatest delight is to set aside time to read his word, the Holy Scriptures, the Bible, daily. We can pause after reading a passage to analyze what it teaches about God. We can write down a phrase that reminds us of one of the attractive qualities of Jehovah. And we now have the option in our JW app to have these digital notes, or if we prefer the physical notebook, we are able to do so. The matter is, do it. Okay, number 10. And we have 37 verse 15, and it says, "Better is the little of the righteous one than the abundance of many wicked ones." Okay, this helps us to enjoy and be grateful for what we have, whether it's a much or not. It doesn't matter. The real matter is what Jesus said, similar than these words, that life doesn't result from the things one possesses. If we think about it, we'll find out that there are people in large mansions, houses, with a lot of material possessions, but they live alone. They have no pleasure. They have no one with them, and it's really sad. On the other hand, there are people who are very wealthy financially, but they don't have physical or mental health. So the Bible is always right, and we are not saying that material things or money are not important, but are not the most important things. Okay, friends, that's a wrap for today's video. Some of the spiritual gems comments for this week, May 6 to 12, 2024. We wanna express our gratitude. We appreciate your visit, and we hope you have a wonderful day. And if you like this video, we invite you to hit the subscribe button, and hope to see you in the next broadcast. So, see you next time.